what's your approach? And again, like the philosophy essentially when you're training someone for a big fight, like just say they've got a 12-round defending a world title or something like that. Like, or what does that look like?
For me, what I've done, look, we're not cookie cutter gym, so everybody is different. I think one of my fortes as a coach is the fact that if you come to me with something and it's inherently in your DNA, whether it's right or wrong, I can't whip it out of you. Okay, I now have to make that work better for you. So if you're throwing a body shot in your hands here, we'll throw your body shot that way, but get your hand here. We'll make adjustments, but I'll work with you. Because if it's in your DNA and you've come from another country, which I have had people come, such as Virgil, or you've come from another gym, because people change and move around and all that sort of stuff, you can't just say, okay, here we do this. No, here we do whatever it is you do better.
So you complement whatever they're naturally good at. Whatever they walk in that door, you complement that.
That's right. And so with that, you got a 12-round fight. I say to most of my boxers that are into 12-rounders, mainly the boys, because the girls only do 10, but it's a similar thing. It's the same thing for everybody, 6, 12, 8 rounds, right? So if you're doing a 12-round fight, I'm going to give you one week of training per round. So that's 12 weeks, okay? So 12 rounds, 12 weeks, that's your camp. But what I also require is if I know we're going to fight in 7, 18 weeks from now, whatever, which is probably what we like to do, give yourself some time, I want you for the first 2 weeks of a 14-week camp, go out and get some sort of measured amount of fitness. Do some road work, do this or that. Come in the gym, hit the bag. Don't expect me to be anywhere near you because you just get something done. Because I'm not going to waste my time with the first 2 weeks of a 12-week camp to get you fit, because then all of a sudden now we have a 10-week camp or an 8-week camp.
You want to hit the ground running.
We want to hit the ground running. So that's one thing. And then, rule of thumb, 1 week of training per round. So 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And in that 12 weeks, we get fitter, stronger, we game plan, we spar, we do everything in that 12 weeks. In the last week, we make the weight, and not hopefully, but 99 times out of 100, we get you ready on the day that you walk through those ropes and start your fight. Because you can peak a bit early and you can peak late. We don't do that. We make sure with the sports scientists, strength and conditioning, and whatever else, and nutrition, it all happens on the one time.
Do you use any of these weight cut sort of experts?
Look, we've tried in the past. For me, it's an individual thing. I think it's like, I could say for you to do a water load, which means in the last week, you're drinking 7 or 8 litres, 7 days out, and 6 on the 6th, 5 on the 5, so on and so forth. You're bringing it down. And that may work for you. Some people could think of nothing worse. Rather go out and jump in front of a bus.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? You can't water load. A lot of these guys that do the weight cut specialists. And
what is a water load exactly?
Well, it's basically you're drinking a lot of water in the last week or so to make your body think you're drowning, literally thinks you're drowning, and all it wants to do is get it out. So say you're weighing in on a Friday.
Yeah.
Thursday at about midday is pretty much where you're going to start going dry. No more drinking, no more eating, maybe a little bit earlier.
So get rid of all the salt.
All the salt. No, well, that's gone ages ago. But you're just so full of water that when you wake up in the morning and you need to lose anywhere, I like 1 to 2.5 kilos. Anything more than that starts to really irk me. It's like, why are you so? A lot of these other guys, the nutritionists, and say, oh, you can lose 5 kilos on a day if they're weighing. It's too much. So, we work it a little bit earlier. But to make it easy, because they're dry now. They've been dry. Their food intake has been diminished, somewhat, graded down over the times of training as the fight gets closer. And all of a sudden you're like, I need to get into a sauna or a bath. Some like either or, but you need to get hot.
Yep.
And so if you're full of water.
Start to perspirate.
But if you're full of water, temperature comes up, it comes out of you because you've water loaded. It's too much. So all of a sudden, water weight is weight. It doesn't matter how the weight comes off. It's weight.
Yep.
So why not make it water weight? A lot of my guys, unless they're really cutting hard for whatever reason, but the most of my guys and girls, what they get on the scales, they're still salivating. They look drawn out, but they're not dehydrated. That's the killer.
I think the killer, you're right, is not so much the sort of dry, lean look, but it's when it's taking the water away from that protective layer of the brain. That's when you can cause concussion, deaths, etc.
100%. Well, the cerebral fluid is fluid. It's water. I mean, it's weight. But as you said, that's the last thing to come out. And when it does come out, it's painful. And to put it back in, I don't care who you are. Scientifically, it's fact. You can't push that water back into your body.
No, it's not like a 24-hour thing.
No. You can get drips and this and that, which is legal or not in certain states and countries. You can do all of that. It's still not going to go into your head. It needs to be turned into what it is, cerebral fluid for what it is, and it's a bit thicker and whatever. It needs to be turned into that. It's like
an oily substance.
And then it needs to be pushed into that, and it's going to take 3 or 4 days. Yeah. So if you take it out of your brain, your cushioning effect, as you say, gone. And you get hit, and an innocuous blow will knock you out.
Yeah.
Why? It's a switch off.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of things. If done correctly, a weight cut is easy. But you then also got to, you take the X factor is the boxer.
Yeah.
Are they stringent? Are they on point with their weight? Or do they there's a Mars bar, I really love one. What's one gone? One Mars bar is not going to hurt. Yeah. It really is. It hurts a lot. So, you got to understand what the X factor is, and that's them. But there's ways and things. But if you can get 2 to 2.5 kilos on the morning of a weigh-in, and you want to sauna that out, or maybe the day before, so you've really dried out, you probably lose 500 overnight. You get up, you got to have a 1.5 kilo sort of sweat in a bath or a towel or whatever. That's safe as. You get on the scales, you get off, you drink, you get the water in first, and you're good to go.
Big feed afterwards?
About 50 minutes after you get off the scales.
Why?
Because you're not hungry, you're thirsty.
Right.
And fact, your brain cannot tell you whether you're hungry or thirsty. It just tells you want.
So when mum's like, you're not hungry, you're thirsty, she actually was right.
Yeah. Take a glass of water and you might not be hungry again. It doesn't know the difference.
Yeah. Just needs something.
It just needs something. So let's get the water in. Plenty of salts, plenty of water, plenty of electrolytes. Why? Because, what do they say when you drink a lot of salts, especially the girls when they dieting, don't drink salt, it's a water retainer.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want that now.
Yeah, we want that now.
I want you to retain the water. And I'll get them 3 or 4 bottles all mixed up with salts and electrolytes and Powerades and dirty carbohydrates. Dirty, but that's what we want. And I'll drink that, and then 50 minutes in, we'll eat. They won't eat much, but we'll order a big meal and say, now take that with you, because you'll be eating throughout the night and you'll be drinking throughout the night. And it doesn't matter who it is. The questions I ask in the morning is like, what color was your piss? What color was your wee? That's like, why are you asking that? Well, if I know it's clear, you're hydrated.
Yeah.
If it's still a little bit, tinges of yellow or whatever, well, you need to drink some more.
Yeah.
Because come fight night, you're about to have a 12-rounder in about 12 hours.
You're going to lose some serious
amount of water. Let's
start ahead.
Yeah. Let's not hamstring ourselves now.
Yeah.
Get ready. Let's go for it. So it's a science, but it's something that I've been doing over 30 years. So
you've got your own spin to it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, like emotionally intelligent, understanding your fighter and, dictating and titrating and making small adjustments to what would be best in this spot.
Exactly. And, you work with them too, because, look, I know I said it depends on the X factor, but I will say this, the majority of fighters, a good 90% of fighters, they take stock in what they do. They invest in themselves. It's a hard sport.